Man, what is good, YouTube? I decided to make a 16-man tournament of the best lightweights in the world to decide the lightweight champion. This is one of the few divisions in UFC 5 that actually has every single ranked fighter. So we got the 1st through 15 ranked, and we also got the champion Islam Makhachev to start off in the first round. And we're going to hot right in that matchup. We got the champion Islam Makhachev taking on RDA. RDA, he set the pace for this fight. He came out swinging, so he had Islam go ahead and shoot a takedown. They got stuffed. He was doing a really good job. He was able to hurt Islam off the bat, but Islam eventually got a takedown on the cage. Islam was looking for an arm triangle that he probably could have locked in, but instead he decided to posture up, go for some ground and pound shots, rocking RDA with the first shot that he threw and a couple more after that. So he tried to lock in a Gamr halfway through round 1, but RDA was able to slip out of it and take his back and get this fight back up to the feet. Once we got to round 2, Islam faked the takedown, then he shot another one, and he was able to get RDA to the ground. But right when he tried to get some damage off, RDA used it to get back up to the feet. Islam was able to get this fight to the ground. He went for an arm triangle. RDA was able to slide out of that, and he got this fight back up to the feet once again. Islam was going for an overhand, and RDA timed out with a leg kick, and it hurt his leg bad. He also was doing a great job at stuffing a lot of Islam's takedowns, and even if he did get him down, he was able to compete there just as good. RDA was able to hurt Islam on the feet, followed him to the ground, almost getting him out there, but he decided to lock in an arm triangle, almost getting Islam to tap, but Islam ended up giving up his back, taking halfway out of his submission meter, and we went to a decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges scored the contest 30-27, 30-26, and 30-27. For the winner by unanimous decision, Rafael dos Anjos.
Now we got to Beneil Dariush taking on Rafael Figueiredo. Figueiredo started off the first round hot with a high kick that hurt Beneil. Figueiredo was just walking down Beneil, landing good shots on him. Beneil ended up shooting a takedown that got stuffed, and then he hit a knee forward that opened up a cut. But he threw a nice uppercut hook combo that was able to sit down Figueiredo, and he tried to turn things around in this fight, shooting the takedown, and this time he got it. Beneil Dariush was attacking submissions back to back, and then he got this fight back up to the feet, but it didn't work out because he got rocked by a head kick and then sat down by another one right after. It was obvious he wanted this fight to the ground. He was able to clinch up with Figueiredo, go for an ankle pick. Figueiredo, he went with the momentum and he just rolled with it, but Dariush ended up getting the takedown to end off round 1. This matchup was a brutal one. We got Dustin Poirier taking on Dan Hooker. They started off this fight just trading shots right off the bat, just like real life. They were both throwing, but it seemed like Dan Hooker was a little bit more aggressive. He was throwing long combinations, but it worked out because he was able to sit down Poirier. And I'm going to just let this fight play out because they were going back and forth, throwing shots on each other, and eventually somebody got slept. This next one, we got Justin Gaethje taking on St Denise. St Denise was coming forward, having no respect for Gaethje. He ended up feinting a takedown. He sidestepped the jab and sat down Gaethje with an uppercut. But you already know Gaethje's going to throw back. He landed a nice overhand left hook that landed on St Denise. He had him wobbling backwards, almost out on the feet. And they just started trading shots, and we got another first round finish. Both of these fighters both had beef in the past. We got Bobby Green taking on Armen Tsarukyan. Bobby started off this fight hot, rocking Armen once and a second time, sitting him down in the first minute. Bobby was coming forward with a big combination, so Armen timed a nice check hook that ended up opening up a cut on Bobby, but Bobby did the same thing against Armen, and he had him rocked. For some reason, Armen hasn't shot a takedown yet, but he ended up faking one, and he rocked Bobby right after. And then towards the end of round 1, he finally decided to get this fight to the ground. Armen took a good amount of damage in round 1, but now he was coming forward on the front foot in round 2, trying to get damage himself. He was able to rock Bobby with an overhand and get him to the ground. Armen did a good job and pretty much dominated round 2. He was coming forward trying to do the same thing in round 3, but got hit by a check hook. Pretty much at this point, they're just both trading shots. They just went out for a war. Armen ended up landing a nice high kick on Bobby, and he was coming forward. Bobby's chin was not recovered, and he was wobbling still. Armen almost got Bobby out of there, but he did a good job at surviving. He ended up actually reversing position on Armen, but he lost it right again, and Armen started doing some ground and pound. And he was landing big shots on Bobby, and eventually he went to sleep. This next fight, we got Michael Chandler taking on the BMF champion, Max Holloway. They started trading shots right off the bat, as you expect. Max Holloway was able to sit down Chandler right off the bat, follow him to the ground. Once this fight hit the ground, Chandler was actually trying to look for a triangle. Instead, he tried to pass position, and he was able to do that. Once Chandler got top position in this fight, he was able to dominate Max Holloway for most of round 1 on the ground. In round 2, Holloway would need to change something. He got some success in round 1, but he took some damage and got dominated on the ground. But he got sat down in round 2, so it wasn't off to a good start. But eventually, somebody got slept. As you can see, I forgot to clip the knockout replay, but I kind of like what I did with that. I don't know if you guys like that better. I might do that more. But anyways, for the next matchup, we got Gamr taking on Renato Moicano. Gamr was throwing a lot of shots on the feet, even if he wasn't in range of them. He was coming forward. It seemed like he was trying to put the pressure on Moicano right off the bat, and eventually he got a takedown. Gamr was able to finish round 1 on top position, but we got to round 2. He tried to start off fast, getting a takedown, but Moicano was able to control him till Gamr tried to go for a ghillie, and Moicano was able to hop out of that. But Gamr, he's great on the ground, so he was able to take back position, and also he got some damage off in round 2. In round 3, Gamr was coming forward just like the first 2 rounds. It seems like he was just chucking out overhands, and he was getting caught a couple times. He tried to work the body, got hit by a front kick. Moicano was most likely needing a finish. He was coming forward, but Gamr, he ended up getting the takedown. He went for some ground and pound shots. Moicano was able to reverse position, but he sold this fight. He just kept it there on the ground, not even trying to get any damage or submission off.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges scored the contest 29-28, 29-27, 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Dariush, Gamr.
This next matchup, we got Charles do Bronx taking on Jaylen Turner. Turner tried to get some clinch knees to start off this fight, but Charles reversed him and gave him his own clinch knee that opened up a cut right away. But he timed do Bronx going for a leg kick with an overhand that rocked him to start off this fight. They went back-to-back attempted submissions, both getting out of it. Charles went for another one that he didn't get. But he was able to reverse position on Jaylen Turner. He kept him there for most of the round until he tried to get some damage off, and then Jaylen Turner reversed him, and that ended off round one. It seemed like Oliveira wanted nothing to do with the stand-up, so he took down Turner. Turner tried to go for a ghillie, but it did not work out, so Charles ended up posturing up and landing a couple good shots on Turner. You really don't want Charles Oliveira on your back, but he was able to get to Jaylen Turner's back. He got his back flat. He postured up again. Oliveira had him in some danger here, but he was able to get out of it. Turner had him in a sprawl position, but Oliveira, he went ahead. He hit his switch. He reversed the position on Turner, then he kept him there for the rest of round two. Starting off round three, he did a spinning side kick to the face that hurt Turner. Then he tried to get this fight back to the ground, but Turner was able to stuff it and give him a nice elbow in the clinch. Even though Charles was able to hurt him, he still didn't want nothing to do with Jaylen on the feet, so he started spamming takedowns. Jaylen was able to stuff the first one, give him a nice elbow, but Charles shot a double leg and got him to the ground. And he instantly went for the finish, trying to go for a leg lock. Turner was able to open up a cut on Oliveira, but Oliveira clinched up with him, gave him a shot, and then he just had Jaylen Turner thinking he was in a brawl. Then he shot a takedown and got him to the ground. And then the same thing as last time, he attempted a leg lock right again. Turner was able to get out a lot of submissions, but now he was starting to get gas, so Charles went for it again, and he was able to lock in a leg lock.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27. For the winner by unanimous decision, Charles "The Bronx" Oliveira.
That brings us to the quarterfinal matchups. We got RDA taking on Figueiredo. We got Dan Hooker taking on St Denise. We got Armen taking on Chandler. Then we got Gamr taking on Charles do Bronx. In the first matchup of the quarterfinals, we got RDA taking on Figueiredo. Even though Figueiredo was able to beat him in a real-life main event, RDA was able to beat Makhachev in the first round. They both hurt each other in this first round, but RDA was able to land a nice boxing combination on Figueiredo, and then he was able to get a takedown to end off round one. RDA's leg was not in the best condition, so he was trying to get this fight to the ground. Figueiredo was trying to attack the leg kicks, but RDA timed a nice Superman elbow that opened up a nice cut on Figueiredo. And then he tried to get this fight back to the ground, but Figueiredo was able to stuff it, and then he did a weird T-pose. RDA was getting his leg teared up, but he was landing his own good shots on the feet. He was trying to get some damage off, but he still wanted to get this fight to the ground, so he shot a double leg and got Rafael to the ground. Once this fight hit the ground, it didn't matter for his submission or ground and pound. He was trying to push for a finish, and he was almost able to get it right there against Figueiredo.
His work, I'm going to stand this up.
RDA was able to knock him down, and he went in for the finish, but Figueiredo was able to reverse position, and he tried to go in for the comeback victory.
Ladies and and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 29-28. For the winner by unanimous decision, Rafael dos Anjos.
This next fight, we got Dan Hooker taking on St Denise. St Denise, he was coming out throwing haymakers. They looked a little weird, but they were definitely doing damage, but he still tried to get this fight to the ground. Hooker tried to go for a guillotine, but St Denise was able to hop out of that. Tried to go for an arm triangle that Hooker was able to slide out of. He wanted this fight back up to the feet, but that didn't stop St Denise. He was relentless trying to go for the takedown. St Denise was pushing for the finish, but Hooker took the position, but he lost it right away. St Denise was able to take his back and took top position for most of the round to the last 10 seconds where he just decided to let him up. So far, there's been some brutal finishes, and now we got Armen taking on Michael Chandler. Serian in the first round, he was able to get this fight to the ground, slamming Chandler to the ground. Chandler was going for a ghillie, but he didn't fully commit, so he just reversed position, landed in top mount, where he just did a staring contest with Armen, and then Armen ended up getting to a better position and back up to the feet. Armen was the one that got this fight back up to the feet, and it didn't work out because he got knocked down, but once it hit the ground, he was able to reverse position, then he started attacking the finish. End of round 1, he went for an arm triangle, locking it in, almost getting Chandler out, but he survives to the next round. But we got to round 2, they turned this fight to a brawl, and then eventually somebody made Herb Dean have to step in. The last fight in the quarterfinals, we got Gamr taking on Charles Dubronx Oliveira. Oliveira was able to open up a cut on Gamr, but Gamr shot a double leg and he got this fight to the ground. After about a minute on the ground, Charles Oliveira was able to reverse position on Gamr. Then after another minute, he started posturing up, landing big shots on Gamr. Then he was trying to push for the finish. Charles was almost able to get that submission in round 1. Then we got to round 2. They started trading shots, and Oliveira was able to rock and sit down Gamr. Gamr knows he needs to get this fight to the ground after getting hurt badly, and he also got a cut opened up, and he was able to get a single leg and turn it, and then he got Charles Oliveira to the ground. He tried to get some damage off, but Oliveira was able to survive that, and then he instantly went back to attacking submissions. After that fight, that wraps up the quarterfinal matchups. That was actually the first submission win in this tournament for Charles Oliveira, but now we get to the semifinals. We got RDA taking on St Denise, and then we got Michael Chandler taking on Charles Oliveira. Let's get into it. First matchup taking place in the semifinals, so we got RDA taking on St Denise. St Denise was doing what he normally does, just walking forward, trading shots, but RDA was able to counter him and sit him down to start off this fight. RDA tried to mix it up, so he shot a double leg and got St Denise to the ground, but once they hit the ground, St Denise was able to get his back, and then he got the timeout trying to land some damage. St Denise started the takeover on the ground, posturing up again, landing a couple more good shots, ending off with an elbow, and then he got the crucifix, started landing more elbows, opened up a cut on RDA. Then we got to round 2, they started trading shots till somebody got slept. RDA was able to move on to the championship matchup, but now we got to Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira. Charles shot a takedown. Chandler stuffed it. He took top position, but it didn't work out because Charles locked in a guillotine, almost making him tap in the first round. Charles went right back to another submission, trying to lock in an arm triangle, but Chandler was able to slide out of it, take top position until Charles was able to reverse it, and then kept him there for the rest of round 1. Once we got to round 2, Charles opened up a cut on Chandler, so Chandler shot a takedown and got Charles to the ground, but that was not a good idea. After that win for Dubronx, that brings us to the final matchup, the lightweight championship. We got RDA taking on Charles Dubronx for the undisputed lightweight championship. Oliveira wasted no time in this matchup. He was coming forward throwing shots. Charles Oliveira tried to mix things up. He shot a takedown, but RDA was able to stuff it, push him off. Charles clinched up. RDA was able to reverse that, hit him with a nice uppercut and a jab, threw an overhand, shot a takedown straight into a guillotine. RDA, he was able to slide out of it with ease, and then he went for some ground and pound work. Charles did a good job at blocking most of his shots. Even in the bottom position, Oliveira is always looking for a finish, so he starts setting up a leg lock on RDA. Oliveira almost got the round 1 finish, but RDA made it to round 2. RDA started out round 2 with a leg kick on the same leg they got hurt in the first round, and they got checked. I don't know why he did that, but Oliveira ended up shooting a takedown, got him to the ground, instantly tried to push for a finish. RDA, he was able to survive. He kept Charles Oliveira in top position for about 40 seconds, but Oliveira ended up taking his back. Then he was able to get the top mount where he denied one of RDA's transitions, and then he tried to push for the finish. And there you have it. After a 16-man tournament of the best lightweights in the world, we got Charles Oliveira in his first fight, taking Jaylen Turner to a decision and winning. And then he submitted Gamr in the second round, submitted Chandler in the second round. And then in the championship fight, he was able to submit RDA in the second round to win the lightweight belt. And that wraps up this video on